It's long run day, and this is unfortunately not the whole run isn't like this. There's a lot of road in it, but this is one of the prettier parts, quite noisy too. And so I thought I would just talk a little bit about long runs, and you're getting loads of intensity from the distance, from the terrain, from the time on your feet. Often it's off the back of, like much harder sessions through the week. So there's already like a little bit of accumulated fatigue. So what you don't want to do is create the intensity with pace, unless it's a specific long run session, in which case, yeah, fair enough. But plenty of intensity coming from other places, and you'll probably find if you slow down you'll enjoy it a lot more too, and it will be just like less of a grind, and it can feel like more like it's giving you more than it's taking. And in some ways, in terms of like, it can be tempting to see improvement on the long run because it's a staple, and a lot of times it's probably closest to the distance of your actual race as opposed to your sessions. But you're much better off tracking progress based on how you're feeling. If you're wearing a chest strap, what the heart rate is saying, that's lower on average. I mean, there are a lot of variables, like depending on the weather and, like how you're feeling and how much sleep you've got. So you've got to be careful with that and sort of like look at it as more of a trend than, a finite thing. But that would be much better to pay attention to than the actual pace of your run. It would be pretty hard to run your long run too slow. So it's one of those things that every now and then you can just check in with yourself, like, how is it feeling? Could you slow down? One trick can be to, like, can you go for a little bit with just breathing through your nose? Then you're probably at like a nice easy level, and you probably don't have too much to worry about. The other thing, you can just sort of track how you're feeling the next day. Do you feel like you're carrying too much fatigue? How do you feel for the rest of the day? Like lying down or like flat out on the couch, maybe it was like a bit too aggressive. And just enjoy the time that you have out there, because a lot of times too, it's like one of the few runs where you're not just like super pressed for time. So it can be, so for that reason too, it's the kind of thing it's much better to be out there and be able to enjoy your surroundings and everything else and just like have a fun time, because that's why you run in the first place.